Hi, I'm Dave Nabity of Nabity Business Advisors. Today is part 3 in a series of transitioning out of your business. Sooner or later, if you own a company, you're going to need to do it. The question is, do you sell it to insiders and family members, or do you sell it to outsiders? Sooner or later, the day is going to come, right? In part 1, we talked about making sure that you have your estate plan set up properly so you minimize estate taxes before you have a transaction and sell the business. In part 2, we talked about the things you need to keep in mind when doing a transaction with family members, whether it's children or whether it's siblings. Part 3 is for those of you who don't have family members to sell or give the business to, and you're looking at selling to an outsider. As we work with business owners, we'll often run into people that are very talented. They love what they do. They don't have any desire to retire, but they're getting older. They might be in their 70s. Sometimes we run into people that are in their 80s. The other thing that we will see in a situation like that is their management team is in their 60s. And we've got a real problem here. What are we going to do with this company? And we don't have family members that are going to come in and run the business. So we've got to start looking for outsiders to sell the business to. There's lots of different ways that look at selling your business. You can go to business brokers, you can talk with financial people or investment bankers. There's a lot of different places you can go to try to talk about selling a business. At Nabity Business Advisors, we like to work with you to make sure that everything is packaged properly so when it comes time to take the business to the market, you're ready and your management team is ready. When looking at buyers, sometimes it'll be a friendly, somebody that you know that's in your industry that you might be able to sell your business to and consolidate or merge. In other cases, it might be a stranger that you don't know anything about. If you have a firm like Nabity Business Advisors involved, we can work with that other party, go through the financials, go through the numbers, be that negotiator in between you, the seller, and them as the buyer to try to find common ground and find ways to put a deal together that is in the greater good of the whole. Sometimes we have a young buyer that wants to join a mature company and work with them for 3 to 5 years before they buy out the owners. Other times it'll be a large firm that just comes in and consolidates and takes over. Sometimes a buyer will come to us and say, look, there's a business over there that's for sale. We want you to go in and look at the business, see what you think the value is, do an assessment on the people, and see whether or not this is going to be a good fit for me and whether the price is right. And frankly, if I buy it at that price, whether or not I can afford to make the payments to pay off the people that I'm buying the business from or pay off the bank. Other times, a seller will be involved and they have a buyer out there, and that buyer is coming in and saying, look, you know, we think it's only worth this, and you've got a discrepancy in the price because you think it's worth a lot more, and you need somebody to come in and work with the buyer to make sure, number one, that the valuation is reasonable, that you're being treated fairly, and that the buyer, if they're going to come into your business, isn't going to gut your environment and lay off a bunch of people and basically destroy the company that you've been working so hard to build up and grow into what it is today. So having a third party like us involved in the midst of all this, I think brings down the anxiety, helps make sure that everybody's working for the greater good of the whole, so that at the end of the transaction, you can retire in peace and the buyer is in a position to be able to win and succeed with your company. So if you need that kind of help and you need just ideas to think through how you want to go about positioning your company and getting it ready to sell, give me a call, Dave Nabity at Nabity Business Advisors. We would love to work with you and appreciate meeting you.